A very good morning team. This is Amir Mustafa. In this video we will understand how we can inspect Docker image, how we can get more details about the image we need in our project. We will also understand how we can look inside the Docker container, copy files into or from a Docker container. So let's check it. First we'll quickly see the commands we'll be using and then we'll actually do it. So normally if we want to look into the image, we need an image ID, and this is a command which gives us the list of running container. So two ways we can do this, either by docker psa or the second command docker image. This will itself give the ID and this will give the container ID, but also there will be image inside it. So we'll have a look into it like this image ID. So let's check this. You might ask, why do we need the image details? So most of the time when we work in a team, we might be, suppose I'm the new developer and I'm not aware of the details about the image. We need to ask someone, but it is a good practice if Docker itself can tell us more about the image. So let's see how this can be done. Docker psa. We need to look into the image, so we copy it. Docker images. Okay, I did one mistake. Let me fix it. There's a typo in the syntax. Docker image inspect. This keyword is used for inspecting the image. We need to put the image ID. If name is assigned to the image, we can also give the name. And we get the list of data over here. Let's see what useful thing we get from this. Firstly, when this image was created. Most of them we do not need, but it will be handy. Like if any technology you are using, say Python, PHP, Node, we can see that over here the version. Suppose we need to install or we need to know, see Node 17.6. and many more information. Okay, so this is the one method to see it. There's also another way we can see it. We just go to the Docker extension. If you're not seeing this icon over here, just go to extension, install this. The first official image which we get, we need to install over here. Install. So what we need to do over here is just go to the extension, right click on the image and click on the inspect. This is a sweet, beautiful way of seeing. No need to write command, everything is in graphical view. And we can see over here. I think in the video sometimes I observe that this is not recording, that right click pop-up doesn't come, but I'll share in the document also if it doesn't. So we get the same thing, same list of data, when image ID and all the information related to it. So we have seen now that how we can inspect an image. What if we want to inspect inside a Docker container? Adding more to it, we want to copy into a Docker container or copy some files from a Docker container. So let's see one by one. We'll also see the real-time example when possible cases. Like for example, if you have written a script And now it's time to write some test cases, and we want to copy that test case into our container. So we can use this command, first command. So what is the command? It's a basic command. Just we write this one, docker cp source file. We'll see this. Let's first try over here. We'll be creating one folder. Let us call this any name. I've written two names over here. Let's call this new test cases, and let's add two files over here, test1.txt. it can be any file. Let's call it test1. Copy paste, and let's call this test2. So what is our job? What is our requirement? So we have created this file inside our local host and not in Docker. So if we see over here, let's go to a terminal. We clear this. So we want to copy this data, this test files inside the container. So what will be the first step? First step will be we need to get the container ID where we want to paste it. So this can be done using this command, docker psa. And we copy the container ID. It is important to note that we can only paste files in a running container, not in the stopped container, because if container itself is not running, we cannot paste there. So the command for, let me clear the screen, docker cp is for copy command. Let's now refer over here, source file. By source file we name the folder we want to copy, new /test -cases -test1.txt, your files. But if you want to copy all the files, we can give a dot space where we want to paste it, in this container which we just copied, colon, and directory to paste. This can be any directory. We can give it random xyz name. For our case, let's keep the same name, new test cases. And one more thing which I was forgetting is we have to give the front trailing slash. Let's go here first. This is our ID. So how we know that this is our ID? This is the image ID connected to this. So if this command was, I think we lost the command. Let's run in the other terminal. Docker ps. See, we are pasting this ID, but in over here the image ID is referencing it displays image ID. Okay, so what we are doing, and where it will copy inside app. And why inside app? Because if we go to a Docker file, there we have defined that please copy everything inside app. That is the command which we have given. So I am about to execute this command, and we see there is no file. I think there is no file. Okay, so see, there we have many files, but there is no file named new test cases. Let's enter Okay, and it created successfully. Let me refresh it. New test cases. Alright, so we got the two test file over here. So this is a real scenario. We have kept the test cases. We can write our script over here. Now we have a second case. We want to copy from container back to our local repository. Let me first delete this. Okay. So consider that your client, your friend, colleague, they have given you a Docker file and they say just take it from there. So what will you do? At that time you need to search. They will give you the ID for sure, container ID. They will give you the name from where to copy. So we now have to pull data from Docker. So let's go to the Docker. We see that this file is here. Let's rename it also, or let's copy this file only. So to copy paste, everything will be same, nothing will be changed, just we will copy paste, change the location. Let's see the documentation once. Docker cp command ID, the reverse one, container first, then the place where we need to copy. Docker cp, and let me copy from here. Okay, now we need to paste somewhere. We have given the container ID colon the folder we need to copy, and we also need to give slash dot. Same thing. If you want to copy, let's copy another thing now. Test. Let me see the name. test2.txt. Okay, we can give dot as well. Where we want to copy, let's give the same name. New test cases. Now this time will be in our this folder. We don't have any new test file. Let's give enter, and we see that our new file is created successfully. Yeah, that's all. And the second one, second scenario, you might ask that why should we use it? Suppose client gave us data, but we can read from container itself. See, many a time what happens now that you want to look into a log files, Docker log files, and reading from the terminal is more difficult than reading from an editor. So what we can do, let's copy from there to our local repository, local host files, codebase, and from there we can read in our favorite editor. Yeah, that's all for this video, team. Thank you.